There are now manifold applications for drones, and new ones are being added every day. The list of possible applications, whether it be agricultural, civil defense, energy, construction, real estate, logistics, media production, or security tasks, as you can see, it's long. The use of drone technology will continue to expand due to its wide range of possible applications. Simple reason why farmers in particular are so keen to the use of drones for their work. From a bird's eye view, you can see many things better from at the ground. Multicopters and drones can be used in a variety of ways in agriculture, forestry, and viticulture. Precision farming is the key word. Multispectral cameras and color filters can be used to determine the health of crops. These filters allow only certain color ranges called multispectral, or only individual wavelengths called hyperspectral, of the leaf reflection to pass. Using GPS-based flight plans, several hectares can be flown over autonomously within just a few minutes. These results enable precise management, which can either target or save resources such as water, fertilizer, and pesticides. One application is the vineyards, which are usually difficult to reach. For example, a winemaker can take targeted and early action on the vineyard without losing harvest or having to treat an entire vineyard. Another possible effect is that at the same time the soil pollution decreases because the soils are protected, since no soil compaction is caused by heavy equipment. Not to be neglected is also another positive effect is that there are fewer emissions due to the low flight altitude and efficiency spray procedure. All of this leads to economical farming. More and more authorities and organizations for rescue and safety sector rely on the use of drones. With special equipped thermal imaging cameras, they are actively helping to fight fires and search and rescue operations from the air. Drones already offer a wide range of applications in civil protection as well. The acquisition of aerial images in an operational situation, the use of infrared imaging cameras or special measuring devices, the transportation of equipment, medicine, or other aid, as well as the extension of radio links and documentation. As technology advances, more and more operational areas are conceivable for drones that can contribute to saving human lives as well as a significant materials asset. Today, unmanned aerial systems that are already being used successfully are in areas like search and rescue operations in mountain areas. People that are in inaccessible terrain, for example, who have previously had to be searched for on foot by mountain rescuers for hours, can now be located in as little as 10 to 20 minutes with the use of aerial operations. Drones can be useful to law enforcement as well, especially during emergencies, and cities across the US have found creative ways to use these drones. At present, drones are used for a variety of reasons, ranging from everything from hostage negotiations to bomb investigations and criminal surveillance as well as crime scene analysis. In the present coronavirus pandemic, some countries' police agencies are using drones to check in on residents who have tested positive for COVID-19. In India, police are using drones to track large gatherings and monitor narrow roads that police cars can't normally fit into. In France, health warnings are blared through drones flying over deserted beaches. However, fire departments are also calling for the drone to be used as a firefighting drone, with the ability to transport heavy loads. The possibility for transporting rescue workers on or in a drone is also being examined. A major application for aerial robots is maintenance. In both reactive maintenance, which has become rare, and preventative and predictive maintenance, drones help provide accurate data which can support condition monitoring, speed up repair processes, and minimize downtime. Drones are helping engineer teams inspect and maintain wind and solar farms. Through machine learning, drones can autonomously recognize patterns and regularities via cameras and sensors. Based on these findings, valuable recommendations for action can be provided, for example, which are only made possible by the drone's different perspective. But not only automatic surveillance can be supported by a drone. From the air, the condition of wind turbines, satellite dishes, or locations of containers in the cargo port can be checked. Aerial reconnaissance by flying objects can save a lot of time for your employees. Instead of looking themselves, they can let the drone fly and have the data images right away. Using thermographic analysis, flying robots from drones can inspect large-scale solar installations. Equipped with a thermal imaging camera, the drone finds defective cells quickly and reliably. Open-air rooftop systems that are difficult to access can then be monitored from the air. To ensure the best drones can withstand the rigors of industrial use, the appropriate components must be in place, however. IQ technology allows users to gather important motor data and telemetry to use this information for preventative maintenance. Imagine being unable to monitor the health of your vehicle, such as your car not having a check engine light. In the drone market, motor and control technology is still hobby grade. The existing solutions don't provide easy access to motor data. Hence, IQ Motion Control built a motor controller that can report both standard and advanced telemetry. In addition, drone makers will be able to significantly improve maneuverability of their vehicle. With IQ's closed-loop motor control technology, IQ components users observe a better efficiency, improved power and torque, improved cornering and handling, and they can stabilize and brake up to 4 times faster. IQ Motion Control software further enhances motor performance. IQ Motion Controller also reports a wide bench of motor parameters that they can use for preventative maintenance. With IQ's high torque and high performance UAVs and robotics devices, they'll be able to exercise precise, smooth control over these compact, lightweight motor modules and enable robotic arms, legs, and much more. Reliability is a big deal on any robotics device. The combination of IQ's high-end motor performance and extensive feedback allow drone makers to build the most reliable vehicle for any purpose. You can find out more about this in the description below. In the future, drones are expected to be increasingly used for internal and external goods transportation. Due to their agile flight characteristics, drones can easily fly not only outside but also inside buildings. In intralogistics, they are used in warehouses or high bay warehouses for many kinds of inventory control. They can perform tasks such as inventory autonomously and under software control. Until now, this has been required by many employees during normal operating hours. But with a quadcopter, this can be done at night and without any personnel, especially in high bay warehouses. This reduces the risk of accidents for employees. Permanent monitoring of stock levels also improves inventory accuracy throughout the year. To ensure power supply and location in the haul, the drone is coupled with an automatic high-lift truck. Another example are docks. Innovation from Germany offers a complete solution for automated inventory and inventory management in pallet racks in the warehouse area. The solution enables precise location and fully automated recording of the entire warehouse. Receiving and sending packages by a delivery drone. This was made possible thanks to a specially developed packing station on which the drone could land. Reps for DHL say it's the first parcel service provider in the world to succeed in integrating a parcel copter directly into its logistics process. A trailer detection and port inspection solution is also possible with drones. By performing digital inspections at the port, operators get better, simpler, faster, and well-documented data that supports their reporting and further business development. Smart mapping of port infrastructure and harbors help to simplify daily operations such as terrain management. In addition, modern 3D maps allow volume inspections of drone equipment to not only detect but also capture the volume of stored goods and materials on the quays, such as sand, gravel piles, etc., all from the air. And here too, safety plays a major role in the port. Intelligent drone solution Laurent-A Link also improves port safety and monitoring by responding quickly when safety, environmental, or ecological problems or emergencies arise. If you love modern drones and want more information about these amazing robots, subscribe to the Pro Robot channel and don't miss any new videos. Drones can be used to inspect areas of an industrial plant that are particularly difficult to access quickly and without endangering climbers. For this reason, technology is increasingly being used, for example, in chimneys, pipelines, and large machines. Here, drones prove to be very useful when building components needed to be inspected at lofty heights, because the drone provides 360-degree scanning in high resolution and in many cases only needs just a few hours to do so. The use on plants and chemical industry requires the highest concentration and does not allow any errors. One of the most important applications is the inspection of high flares. Drones can also be put to wonderful use in the technical maintenance, in particular, areas of large plants that are difficult to access or located at high altitudes and can be monitored cost-effectively in this way. According to drone manufacturer Multi-Rotor, energy suppliers and plant engineers are already relying on these flying detectives. The Italian company Alv Group uses the Albot X6 drone to obtain high-precision data for bridge inspections. This allows more than 4,000 structures to be surveyed, inspected, and maintained each year. Another possible use of drones is the mapping of land and geography work. The Micro Drones MD Mapper 1000DG system is a fully integrated aerial photogrammetry and mapping solution. Featuring the Alpanix APX-15, the system allows surveyors to achieve professional results with fewer or no ground control points. Micro drones offer a complete package consisting of the drone, sensors, hardware, software, workflow, training, and support. In this video, you'll see the system in action. Topography data is captured efficiently on-site to produce helpful modules for decision-making. Entertainment drones. Drones are also used for entertainment purposes. For example, more than 1,300 drones simultaneously flew into the night sky over the Chinese city of Xi'an. They made a 13-minute light show and entered the Guinness Book of World Records. Enjoy this magnificent show. Which of these use case examples for drones did you like the most? Let us know down in the comments. Also, do you know of any other interesting case uses for drones that we didn't mention in this video? Let us know down in the comments, like and subscribe to the Pro Robot channel. Hyundai's new Tiger robot, space news, drones for the military, a new DARPA program, drones and other high-tech news all in this one video. Hyundai unveiled its new Tiger robot transformer. The fully autonomous modular robot can move on wheels, staggered feet, and work in conjunction with an autonomous drone. Tiger is supposed to be a mobile scientific platform. Tiger's leg and wheel system provides a full 360 degrees of direct control as well as all-wheel drive. If the robot encounters any extreme terrain, it can use its walking ability to overcome obstacles and carry its supplies to its destination. The body of the robot is printed on a 3D printer, and each leg with 6 degrees of freedom consists of 3 segments and a wheel. The company plans to commercialize this robot within 5 years, but it's not yet clear where exactly such a complex and probably expensive system will be in demand. Agility Robotics has shown the ability for its commercial humanoid robot Digit to move around on damp, hilly grounds in the forest. Extended autonomous ability allowed Digit to perform simple tasks with little to no additional programming. Digit can navigate stairs, obstacles, and a variety of landscapes. NASA has tasked the SpaceX team to deliver the first components of the Future Lunar Orbiting Station of the Future Lunar Orbiting Station Gateway to the Moon's orbit. The Falcon Heavy rocket will carry the station's main section, which includes the living module and propulsion element. The launch is tentatively scheduled for May of 2024. The finished station will be comparable in size to the ISS and will be able to change orbit to perform various tasks and evade dangerous objects. It will also be an assembly point for ships going to Mars and beyond. DARPA has announced the beginning of a new program called NOM-4D. The purpose of this program will be to build large objects in orbit and on the Moon. The idea is to place all the production and assembly of objects in orbit around Earth. Ultra-Safe Nuclear Technologies has proposed developing a nuclear engine for NASA for human missions to Mars, due to take place in 2035. Such a solution could reduce the flight length by 55 million kilometers, down to 7 to 8 months from 3 months. It would reduce the cost of the flight and the time exposure to cosmic radiation on the human body. But to use a nuclear engine in space, you need to find uranium fuel that can withstand the high temperatures inside the engine. USNC Tech assures that it has developed silicon carbide-based fuel that can operate at even 4,400 degrees Celsius. But how do you protect the ship's crew members from this radiation? According to Michael Eads, the liquid fuel stored between the engine and the living segment of the ship should block radioactive particles as well. Future colonists of Mars should simply stay away or as far away from the reactor as possible. Developers from the United States and Great Britain have created a laser cutter attachment that allows them to create flight-ready drones. The torch itself is cut out of the hull, and the attachment moves components into it, applies contact tracks, and centers them. The drone can then take off immediately and get to work. The process requires no human intervention, except for the interaction of the software. The nozzle itself contains 2 syringes connected to one common pump. One acts as a pneumatic gripper to move the components, and the other releases a paste with silver particles. The torch laser then heats the paste and then centers it to a solid track that is well conductive. In the same way, the nozzle clamps the components to the body parts. The Nolix factory, located in Changsha, China, will produce 10,000 robots level 4 autonomy each year, according to the website drone.com. Nolix has already received about $46 million in investments to produce last-mile delivery drones. Nolix can also be used as a mobile vending machine. In April 2020, the company reported a 10-fold increase in orders for robotic delivery trucks because of the coronavirus, with orders coming from not only China, but also the Arab Emirates. Electric drones have a range of up to 100 kilometers on a single charge and can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, although the course of their actual operating speed is much lower to not accidentally run over passerbys. DARPA contracted General Atomics, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman to develop long-shot military intermediary drones. The drone is designated to deliver air-to-air missiles from manned fighters or bombers to an enemy target through contested airspace. This will increase the attack distance and effectiveness of air missions, all while minimizing risk to human pilots. Concepts suggest that the vehicles will get retractable wings, stealth capabilities, and room for 2 to 4 missiles. German police failed to seize $66 million in cryptocurrency from a criminal. A German citizen managed to get rich in bitcoins through hidden mining on other people's computers. During his arrest, the police managed to confiscate from him an electric medium with the software storage of cryptocurrency. However, without the password of the cryptocurrency wallet, it's impossible to seize the illegal income, and the arrestee himself said that he had forgotten the password. Although the police, according to official statement, did everything so that the man could not use the loot. Most likely, it's about destroying the flash drive or hard drive with the wallet program inside, but if the criminal has a copy of the wallet, he will be able to use it in 2 years when released. By the way, now in 2021, MasterCard will accept payments in some cryptocurrencies. The company stated that it's preparing for the future. However, the payment system does not plan to support all existing cryptocurrencies and intends to use stablecoins, which are backed by real assets. A new round of struggle between creators or deepfakes in the system that recognizes them ended with a victory of the video counterfeiting algorithms. The new neural network easily fools any deepfake detectors by simply embedding a special competing example into the frame of the video. The effect is truly disconcerting. Even a hastily concocted deepfake is detected by the detector with a real recording. Russian Roscosmos has patented a device for landing the return stage of the Future.A launch vehicle. The mesh structure made of heat-resistant steel and a mechanical manipulator will be installed on the ground. The return stage of the rocket will descend along the calculated trajectory set by the control system to the base of the structure, with its tail compartment sliding along the inner surface of the mesh structure. To make the landing precise, developers used a mechanical manipulator capable of gripping the spent stage. Even if the Chinese New Year was celebrated mid-February, see how the impressive Unitree robots celebrate the arrival of the Chinese New Year. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Pro Robot channel. There's lots of more interesting things ahead in the world of high-tech news. The Venus Project described a future world without money, without government, but with robots and advanced artificial intelligence. A future where everyone will get everything they need to live free as in a library. Not only inspires a desire to believe that this will happen, but also many questions. Today, we will try to address the key of these questions. The project of a bright technological future is described in detail in the video at the link in the hint. In short, the founder of the project, Jacques Fresco, considered the only right way for mankind to develop, one which all the boring, dangerous, and monotonous work is done by robots and advanced artificial intelligence. People live in smart cities, which are completely self-sufficient automated systems that take into account not only their own needs, but also the needs of the planet. Free access to everything we need: education, medicine, fully roboticized farms and industries, and city systems controlled by artificial intelligence that make sure there is enough for everyone. The idea is terrific, but many people still have questions. For example, what's the difference between the Venus Project and communism and socialism? Jacques Fresco felt that the transition to a new organization of the life on planet might not be a revolutionary one, but an evolutionary one. The probable cause of change would be a global crisis, as robotization would take away jobs from large numbers of people. They would lose purchasing power, and anything produced by large companies and corporations will remain unclaimed. Thus, according to Fresco, humanity must realize that the consumer economy, like the monetary system, is obsolete. Here, we can fall into a protracted economic depression, or we can prepare for that time and transition to a resource-based economy in which science and technology ensure the rational use of resources for the benefit of all humanity and nature. The transition to this economic model is systematic, replacing old cities with new ones backed up by experiments and testing of hypotheses for the best decision of these self-sufficient, highly automated cities. The very construction of these new cities and the disposal of obsolete ones is also being automated, which, in the long run, will also not require human participation. A sufficiently developed network of such cities will make it possible to abandon the now obsolete monetary relations. This is something other than taking money from the rich and giving it to the poor. The next question for the Venus Project concerns the details of artificial intelligence. After all, in order to know people's needs, to control appropriate and sufficient production, a system of sensors must be implemented everywhere, from agricultural fields to health sensors on our bodies sending information about medicines we need to robotic pharmacies. What if AI, knowing this much about us, decided to make us the slaves? Jacques Fresco's answer to this question is disconcertingly simple. It's not the technology we should fear, which simply cannot be malicious. It's only the people who control the technology that we should fear. This was why he was against politicians and people in power. For the rest, Fresco, as a social engineer, argued that if one person were placed in a favorable environment, it would form a new system of values. We'll talk more about this and how to achieve it later. A common complaint about the project is the assumption that it is designed only for the so-called golden billion. On the official website of the project, it's repeatedly emphasized that its goal is to multiply the spiritual and intellectual potential of all people. The resources on Earth are declared the common heritage of all mankind, and if used rationally, there are more than enough. In addition, the project does not offer everyone to build a palace and get an electric racing car. Fresco was convinced that with the availability of everything necessary, human values would change. Ownership of property would cease to have meaning or purpose. For example, why would you want to maintain your car when you can call a robotaxi that will take you anywhere and drive itself to the parking lot? Or, if you're on vacation in the mountains, you don't need to take a drone to take aerial photos of the best moments. You can borrow it and then return it to the distribution center when you no longer need it. Having constant access to every resource is more profitable than constantly trying to buy or appropriate it all. Making sure that everything from food to gadgets is enough for everyone will be monitored by artificial intelligence, generating production orders, controlling automated farms, and logistics. As for religion, in the society of future according to Jacques Fresco, there will be a place for all faiths. The main thing is that people do not put faith above facts. If such a future were to come true, would there be a degradation of the population? Jacques Fresco was convinced that no, this would not happen. By satisfying all basic needs, including security, by providing a relevant education, people would be more willing to develop in areas of interest, and every opportunity would be provided for this. Sitting idly by would not be interesting. New challenges, solutions to global problems, and exploration of the world, including space, await us. A difficult question about the Venus Project is how to avoid being amused by people who program artificial intelligence to do certain things. The answer lies partly with the previous one, about the value system, and partly with the next one, which is, where does the Venus Project stand today? Today, Jacques Fresco's like-minded communities are systemizing and popularizing with his writings in order to generate sufficient demand in society for this direction. It doesn't sound as grandiose as if they were already building a city of the future somewhere, does it? But it all rests on financing and the support of states and large foundations. The next planned step is to build a resource management center to work on developing systems and be a step toward future cities. The hope that such a project, which would overturn the whole current system, could be implemented by a small group of people without proper funding seems ridiculous. We can sit and wait for a brighter future, but unfortunately it will not come on its own. Only by developing ideas, telling about them to as many people as possible will you ever get results. A wonderful new world will have to be built gradually, and it will require enthusiasm and energy of talented engineers, people of science, and the broad masses who support the ideas of the project. To build even one sufficient city, it is necessary to open research institutes, to create prototypes of such city systems, and only after the preparatory work, it will be possible to create a real city of the future. Not without reason, Fresco always talked about a guided evolution, and it must be guided by our will that moves consciousness, science, and technology in the right direction, and by the will of billions of people. As for accusations of the project as a utopia, Fresco himself did not think so, and according to him, these proposals are far from perfect, but significantly better than what we have now. He believed that a society is always in transition, constantly choosing which direction to take, so why not choose one that addresses the causes of our major problems? And as we go down this path, humanity and technology will continually evolve and adjust our future paths of development. We'd like you to note that Jacques Fresco's vision of the world and the future is only one of the options for the development of humanity, but it's also one of the best. Although today's statistics say that robots displacing some professions create other jobs, there's no guarantee that this will always be the case. And while you may not be directly affected by this now, there are billions of people in the world below the poverty line. The richest 2% own most of the wealth and consequently the resources. This state of affairs will inevitably lead to wars, resource scarcity, hunger, and pollution. There's also no telling where the creation of advanced artificial intelligence will lead, looking for advantages only for a certain group of people or the state. We see a great deal of enthusiasm in the military for AI, and this is a higher priority than sponsoring the development of its peaceful applications for the benefit of all people and nature. Today, we'd like to remind our most regular viewers of the slogan we often aired a year or two ago. You can change the future. Join the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends so that everyone you know can also learn about the Venus Project and an alternate future. Boston Dynamics robot news, Elon Musk's Starship troopers, DJI's new headset drone, and other breaking high-tech news in this one issue. Adam Savage tested Boston Dynamics' new Spot robotic arm. The point of this experiment was to see how good the Spot arm is right out of the box. That is, without any additional programming and on manual control from the controller. According to Savage, the basic abilities of the robot arm turned out to be very good, which opens up a huge potential for its application in automatic mode. The New York City Police Department used its Spot robot from Boston Dynamics, nicknamed DigiDog. The robot dog helped police inspect the home where the robbers and hostages were suspected to be, streaming video from the robot's camera. The robot ran into the house, climbed up to the right floor, and explored the area. Although there was no criminals in the house, the robot's help was appreciated by the police. However, witnesses in the area were a bit frightened by the robot dog. The open provocation with the armed robot Spot was staged by mischief art pranksters. Project Spot's rampage consisted of locking the robot with a paintball gun on its back into an art gallery with several famous modern work of arts. The organizers then invited everyone to control the robot via internet for 2 minutes. Users could both test Spot's ability to get around obstacles and damage surrounding objects by shooting them with the gun. Boston Dynamics was outraged by such an experiment and even offered the pranksters 2 more robots for their experiments in exchange for Spot's removal of the toy weapon, but they refused. The Toyota Research Institute recently showed their laboratory simulating a room in an ordinary apartment building. It became the testing ground for further research on Toyota's home robots, which we told you about in the video at the link in the tip. Ghost Robotics continued to promote its V60 robots for work at checkpoints as well as military bases. The cheap and reliable robot dogs are supposed to get around the perimeter, but can also be used armed in the future to deal with intruders. The company also showed new tests of the robot's capabilities on hills of loose rock and dirt. Innovative engineering company Infocom Ltd. Unveiled a new concept for its Tima robot for exploring the nearest planets in the solar system. The new Tima robot with a swivel leg will be able to quickly ride on wheels and climb rough terrain on improvised feet. DJI unveiled a first-person view flight system. It includes a drone, goggles, and a controller. The drone weighs in at only 800 grams. Its front camera records in 4K at 60 frames per second. The camera's pivoting suspension is stabilized electronically. Video is streamed to the goggles in real time with minimal delay. And it's written on a micro SD card, which is provided for the drone. Acceleration from hover to 100 km per hour is claimed to be at 2 seconds, with flight time of up to 20 minutes and a range of 10 kilometers. There's a total of 3 flight modes available in this new drone: normal, sport, and manual. Normal mode is a lot of fun and at the same time safe and affordable for beginners. The speed of the drone in normal mode is reduced to 50 km per hour. If the sensors of the device think you're going to crash into something, it will be reduced even further. When any unclear situation presents itself, you can simply release the control knobs and the drone will stop and hover in place. In sport mode, there's an increase of speed up to 97 km per hour. Avoiding obstacles no longer slows down the drone, although the system will give you a serious warning in case of a dangerous collision. The manual mode is designed for professional pilots and racing. Here, the speed is already up to 140 km per hour, and you get full control over every aspect of the drone. The current cost of the new DJI FPV drone will come in at $1,299, and that includes the drone, goggles, one battery, as well as all the necessary chargers and cables. The prototype Starship from SpaceX, the SN-10, successfully landed for the first time during a test which was aimed at lifting to an altitude of 10 kilometers. The prototype performed a rollover maneuver to a horizontal position for controlled descent using the flaps during freefall in the atmosphere. The rocket then returned to its vertical position, activated the engines, braking, and landed softly. However, just 8 minutes later, the prototype exploded. The American company SkyMule recently showed tests of a drone that was able to help construction workers who were laying rebar for pouring concrete. It independently flies over the laid rebar and binds to the bars, saving workers time. Engineers used a quadcopter with large landing legs and an attached movable platform with a gun to bind the rebar to its bottom. The company claims that the drone speeds up the binding process by at least 2.5 times and also makes it 32% cheaper. But it did not specify exactly how it got to these calculations. The Department of Applied Mechanics at the Technical University of Munich showed off its latest advances of its Lola robotics platform. The robot, without cameras or sensors to get preliminary information about the terrain, was still able to traverse on uneven surfaces. Lola is an electronically powered humanoid with 26 distributed joints, with a total weight of 68 grams and 176 centimeters tall. Orbital Assembly Corporation's Voyager Station project, which is the world's first space hotel on low Earth orbit, could become a reality by just 2027. With construction beginning as early as 2025, the design of the hotel will include a restaurant, a cinema, a spa, and holds a capacity of 400 people. There are 2 new generation Russian rehabilitation medical exoskeletons, the Exo-Atlet 2 and the Bambini. Recently, the Exo-Atlet was able to receive registration approval from Russia. The Exo-Atlet 2 implements the main function of biofeedback, which is carried out through the initiation of movements. The device also allows you to adjust the degree of assistance to the person. A separate built-in myostimulation unit is synchronized with walking that stimulates exactly the same muscles that would be used by a real person when they walk. The children's exoskeleton Bambini is actually the world's first child exoskeleton that solves the problem of restoring children with cerebral palsy, improving their quality of life, walking, and as a consequence, their cognitive functions. Subscribe to the Pro Robots channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. What will the wars of the future look like? Today, it is safe to say that the first thing the enemy will see on the battlefield are swarms of killer drones, controlled by the military or fully autonomous. Why kamikaze drones are the future of warfare and who is already creating and using them, we will tell you in this issue. The first unmanned systems, land, sea, and air, were actually teleoperated bombs. The most famous is the German Mistral project, in which conventional aircraft were converted into drones packed with explosives and delivered to the target by an aircraft carrier. During the Cold War, reconnaissance drones were created by many countries, including Israel, the United States, and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union's Tupolev Design Bureau developed the Tu-141 reusable reconnaissance drone in the 1970s. Equipped with photo and infrared reconnaissance, the drone could fly at a cruising speed of 1,000 km per hour for distances reaching up to 1,000 kilometers, and landing using a parachute system located in the tail section. But drones began to play a very big role in military affairs just recently. The first recorded cases of mass drone attacks were in Syria in 2018. In 2019, there was a massive drone attack on Saudi Aramco's state oil refineries in Abqaiq and Kurais. In 2020, in Nagorno-Karabakh, drones including Kamikaze drones showed the world that the coordinated use of armed drones and barraging munitions against tanks and air defense systems could dramatically change the course of the conflict. Why are kamikaze drones the future of war? First, killer drones can operate autonomously, which means that continuous communication with the machine, which can be detected or jammed, is no longer necessary. For example, the Israeli Harpy drone, which can be used for both reconnaissance and as a kamikaze strike drone. Its own radar and navigation system allow it to act according to a pre-written program written by the operator or search for targets by radar itself. The radar allows the drone to quickly locate enemy air defense systems by their emissions. The Harpy cannot be jammed by REBs, and it is quite difficult to target for air defense, as the composite hull does not allow it to be detected at long ranges. Second, even kamikaze drones can be reusable. For example, the Hero, which was a further development of the Harpy drone concept. Using a visual target classification system borrowed from the Spike missile, these kamikaze drones can detect targets visually without using their radar and identify target types by comparing pictures to a three-dimensional library. This allows the drones to be fully autonomous. The operator can literally only specify the square of the target search, after which the drone will automatically leave the launcher and fly to the specified square to look for its targets. If no targets are found, the drone will return to the square specified by the operator and land by parachute. Then it can be used again and again after refueling. This is fundamentally different from earlier versions of kamikaze drones, which, for each flight, was their last. And third, drones have learned to operate in swarms, which multiplies their value, capabilities, and destructive power. Swarmed drones are capable of conducting coordinated attacks with minimal operator involvement. Takeoff, formation, and formation holding, route keeping, return to base, and landing are accomplished autonomously. However, some drones are capable of selecting and engaging targets independently, alone or in coordination with other group members. Swarms are not necessarily homogeneous. A heterogeneous swarm includes different types of vehicles with different weapons on board. Kamikaze drones are produced all over the world. They include the Turkish Kargu, which create decoys for enemy air defenses while carefully scanning the terrain. The Chinese Zhuhai Zhang's Blowfish A2, capable of speeds of up to 130 km per hour, and carry onboard 60mm mines as well as 40mm grenade launchers. By the way, the new generation of drone A3s is capable of carrying several types of machine guns on board, and according to the manufacturer, there are many orders for these drones. Russia is also interested in creating kamikaze drones. For example, the Kalashnikov concern is developing the KUB and Lancet, which are remotely controlled projectiles that explode when they reach their targets. According to the manufacturer, KUB is capable of reaching a speed of 130 km per hour, flying for half an hour, and hitting the target regardless of its stealth and terrain. Additionally, it is planned to equip the Marker combat robotic platform with the kamikaze drones. Several types of smaller kamikaze drones, such as the Sky Striker, Harop, Orbiter 1K, and Orbiter 3 hover munitions, have been used in Nagorno-Karabakh. Some are guided by air defense radar, while others rely on optical, infrared, and other sensors. The Orbiter 3, for example, can breeze for 6 to 8 hours and weighs only 3 kilograms. The Sky Striker is heavier. Its warhead can be 10 kilograms, but the value of these drones is not in their power, but in their price. One Sky Striker drone can cost less than $1 million, according to Defense News. At the same time, kamikaze drones are usually equipped with advanced navigation and targeting systems, capable of aiming and keeping in their sights, maneuvering towards its target at speeds of up to 550 km per hour. In other words, such a drone is capable of destroying a modern tank or missile system worth much more than the cost of the drone itself. To launch these swarming kamikaze drones, China demonstrated a multi-barrel launcher. The combat vehicle was created on the chassis of a 3-axle version of the Dongfeng Warrior armored vehicle. Containers with UAVs are in special protected compartments that raise before use. In total, this system can engage 48 barraging munitions. So, why are kamikaze drones so dangerous? Although such vehicles are not currently classified as lethal autonomous systems, since they are supposed to involve an operator, it is virtually impossible to verify this. Technically, a barraging munition can be fully autonomous and perform a mission without the participation of the operator. So, we can consider this to be a prototype of autonomous robotic killers. But the main thing is that modern air defenses are designed for classic targets like planes, helicopters, or tactical missiles. They may not observe drones at all, especially if they fly low or they're seen too late. Additionally, the target system of the complex might not be designed for hitting such targets. Add to this the fact that the cost of an air defense projectile is hundreds or even thousands of times higher than that of a kamikaze drone. The only solution here is a special anti-drone defense system. We will see active development of these systems in the coming years, along with the development of the kamikaze drones themselves and impact drones as well. Want to know more? Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel and let us know down in the comments what questions are left regarding kamikaze drones. The news of Elon Musk's companies, the mass equipping of robotic dogs with robot arms, Sense Touch for robots, robot fish, and other high-tech news in this one video. A comparison test of Tesla and Waymo Autopilot has surfaced online, reports the website drone.com. The author of the Whole Mars Catalog channel first called a Waymo unmanned cab and then drove his Tesla Model 3 with the FSD Beta Autopilot along the same route. Interestingly enough, Waymo took a different route than the Tesla and drove more cautiously. As a result, Waymo's robot cab took 8 minutes to drive, while the Tesla Model 3 took only 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Tesla Autopilot can be used on any roads in any city or country, but only under the control of a real driver. Conversely, Waymo robotaxis so far work in limited areas but with an empty driver's seat. In the video of the experiment, you can see that Waymo robotaxi, unlike the Tesla, avoids more dangerous left turns at unregulated intersections. That's why the car took a longer but safer route for its trip. In the end, both cars handled the route well, visualized the environment around them perfectly, and moved smoothly without sudden accelerations or brakes. Also, neither vehicle's autopilot systems violated traffic rules and responded to traffic signs effectively. Tesla is building an energy storage system of at least 100 megawatts in Texas. This is Elon Musk's way of dealing with sudden power outages, one of which happened last month because of unprecedented snowfalls. Tesla has not yet publicized this project, but it will be conducted under the cover of a little-known division of Gambit Energy Storage LLC. The autonomous station will include 20 large battery packs with lithium iron phosphate batteries that will last between 10 and 20 years. SpaceX has planned to connect airlines and cargo vehicles to Starlink. A corresponding application was filed with the U.S. Federal Communications Commission. The document states that SpaceX is requesting a comprehensive license to operate Starlink terminals on so-called mobile ground stations, which include cars, trucks, ships, and aircrafts. Personal cars will have to wait for now, as the company's terminals are too big for them. Today, Starlink has more than 1,200 satellites and about 30,000 users. A team of developers from China and the United States has developed magnetic finger pads for robots. It is no secret that the sense of touch is what allows us to interact with objects so well, and it's this same sense of touch that's so difficult to give to robots. In this study, the role of sensitive fingertips is played by a thin, flexible magnetic film. Touch and pressure cause it to deform, and sensors located deeper within it record the resulting changes in the magnetic field. A neural network is used to analyze the signals from the sensors. It can determine not only the place and force of contact, but also feel the texture of the surface. Chinese developers have introduced a soft robot for deep-sea research. The 22-centimeter long bot has a 28-centimeter fin span and is modeled after a deep-sea fish. To make it able to withstand water pressure, all electronics inside the soft polymer body are divided into separate modules. Small circuit boards are connected by flexible wires and sealed in silicone. Just like a fish, this robot moves by movement of fins made of an elastometer, which shrink when exposed to an electric current. Engineers tested the robot in 3 conditions: in a lake at a depth of around 80 to 70 meters, in the South China Sea at depths of 3,224 meters, and at the bottom of the Mariana Trench at a depth of 10,900 meters. Although in the latter case, we can see that the robot actuators worked with a smaller amplitude, the device is still retained by its operability in extreme conditions. Insects know how to navigate in a world with dynamic obstacles, wind gusts, and general uncertainty. MIT research team Kevin Yufeng Chen decided to endow flying robots with such qualities and developed a new generation of tiny and agile drones that look, act, and maneuver like real insects. The 0.6-gram device can maintain balance with an external action, perform somersaults, and other complex maneuvers. Engineers at the Zurich University of Technology decided that it's not necessary to buy a robotic arm for Spot from Boston Dynamics. It would be much more interesting to make it yourself, based on any available manipulator. A robot with a robot arm can track objects and manipulate them with ease. Robotic Systems Lab also decided to keep up with Boston Dynamics and created a robotic arm for its 4-legged robot, Animal. Engineers developed a full-body motion planning structure that combines dynamic movement with manipulation tasks. As a result, any task involving the manipulation of external objects can be solved on the robot's onboard computer in real time as part of a control scheme with model prediction. Anybotics showed how the Animal robot can avoid dynamic obstacles and navigate autonomously in a challenging space. With high-level navigation commands, the robot can safely navigate to a target location based on depth camera and data reinforcement learning. The data, which includes images from the camera and its trajectory, is combined by the system and used to simulate environmental states. Deep Robotics has published a new video of its Yang Mini Light robot. The robot does somersaults, possibly knowing how to avoid obstacles and follow a human. It's possible because the company does not comment on the video and there could be a human operator behind the scenes. In any case, the robot looks nimble and agile. It also looks a lot like the robot Spot. After a successful performance in honor of the Chinese New Year, Unitree Robotics began to offer robots for mass performances. And by the way, an unpacking and review of such a robot recently appeared on our channel. The link is at the hint in the description of this video. Robotic Systems Lab also showed its strongest robot ever in action, the Menzi Muck M545. This unmanned, semi-autonomous walking excavator assisted first responders in a simulated car crash with an explosion. At last week's MWC Shanghai 2021, which focused on next-gen technology, Huawei said it has built more than half of the 140 commercial 5G networks currently deployed in 59 countries. And despite bans on its network equipment in many countries, it should be noted that most of the directors of the major technology companies who spoke at the event noted that the implementation of 5G networks in the coming years will determine speed of technology development in all countries around the world. Recently in China, deputies approved an ambitious plan for a technology breakthrough. According to the new plan, by 2035, the country must make significant breakthroughs in technology, from artificial intelligence to quantum computers and biotechnology. To do this, spending on basic research will increase by more than 7% every year for 5 years. This will help reduce the country's dependence on foreign technology markets, particularly the US market. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new releases on the Pro Robots channel. Incredible new Chinese robot, police drone that breaks windows, news from Elon Musk, DARPA competition, and other high-tech news in this one issue. If you've been watching our channel for a while, you'll remember that both Boston Dynamics and Anybotics have been trying hard to experiment with robot wheels as an option for moving quickly over simple terrain. But while those companies have considered installing either legs or wheels, the Chinese company Tencent has been able to checkmate this issue by combining both mobility options in one 4-legged robot. The robot not only walks on 4 legs, but also rides on both 4 and 2 legs, and in the last case, can also use its front limbs to grab objects. In other words, it's a 4-in-1 robot on legs and wheels, capable of acting as a 4-legged and 2-legged humanoid platform. By the way, the wheels mounted on the outside of the knee joints allow the robot to accelerate to up to 25 kilometers per hour. The robot is also able to do somersaults, get up from the back, and jump over obstacles. Brink introduced a mass-produced police drone capable of flying into buildings and breaking glass. The drone, with a carbon fiber frame and powerful rotors with propellers, has a flight control algorithm that allows the drone to push unlocked doors and fly through doorways. A camera, flashlight, ammunition, or glass window breaker can be mounted on the suspension for payload. The latter is in the form of a unit capable of spinning at up to 30,000 RPM and equipped with tips made of tungsten carbide. When the tip breaks the glass, the drone flies in. If it flips while doing so, a rollover mode is activated, returning the drone to its proper position. The drone can transmit video, sound, and communicate with the operator at a distance of up to 13 kilometers. Tidewise and Stable tested a drone and drone combination designed to search for oil spills at sea. The drone automatically takes off and lands on a stabilized landing platform on the vessel, which maintains a horizontal position at all times. The platform also serves as a docking station for the drone. Before landing, the drone and the ship communicate by radio, and immediately during landing, the drone monitors the codes on the platform with a camera and gently lands on it. The Tesla Cybertruck will be able to power campers and small households. This was confirmed in a tweet by Elon Musk recently. What's interesting, according to fan calculations, if the electric car's battery is at least 100 kilowatt hours, the pickup at a price of $50,000 could be more profitable than any other devices, including the Tesla Powerwall. By the way, Musk previously wrote that such a feature could appear in all Tesla models. Hyundai also promised a similar option. Tesla showed a video of tests of its semi-unmanned truck on the auto track. Today, electric unmanned vehicles are only used for internal logistics of the company. SpaceX has expanded its Starlink coverage to the United Kingdom, West Germany, and the South Island of New Zealand. SpaceX now has 1,200 satellites in orbit, 310 of which were launched this year. Remember that the company plans to launch a total of nearly 12,000 satellites in orbit in the next 4 to 5 years. DARPA has announced a competition for the creation of flying satellites with a prize of $1.5 million. The reward will be given to the companies, which will be able to create working prototypes of the device. The principle of work, as well as its form, is not important. Quick deployment, training, independence from external equipment, and intuitive operation are the key elements, as well as the ability to set up production. In essence, this is an open request as possible for any promising technology in compact individual aircrafts. DARPA is casting a line into the water and see what comes out. By the way, we already did a review of existing flight suits in the video at the link in the tip. As a part of T-Mobile's advertising campaign in the Netherlands, designed to demonstrate the speed of big data processing by 5G technology, TV host Stijn Fransen got a tattoo from a robot. The 5G robot was remotely controlled by a tattoo artist, Wes Thomas. The robot used machine learning to recognize the position of Fransen's arm and correlate it with the actions of the tattoo artist who was tattooing on a mock-up of the arm in another room. The experiment went well and no one was hurt. Norwegian engineers have created a robot capable of adapting its body to its surroundings in order to get around better. The four-legged robot Dryet is able to adjust in length of its legs, analyzing the results to better adapt to similar conditions the next time around. The robot uses cameras and sensors in its legs to analyze the surface. On difficult terrain, it shortens its legs for stability, and on easy terrain, it lengthens them to increase walking speed. The robot is not pre-programmed for surface types, but works on the principles of self-learning. This allows Dryet to not only work in unexpected and changing conditions, but also to adapt to breakdowns. For example, if a leg is damaged, the robot can shorten the rest and reach its destination. The University of Michigan and Ford Motor Company have opened a $75 million state-of-the-art robotics research center. It brings together researchers from 23 buildings and 10 of the university's top programs. The first 3 floors of the Robotics Institute contain research labs for university robots to test humanoid and quadrupedal robots, robots for Mars, marine robots, and drones and other flying vehicles. The 4th floor is home to Ford's first robotics and mobility lab on campus, as well as 100 Ford researchers and engineers. Let's hope someday we'll have a similar future technology research in our country too. NASA showed how it created robotic space refueling tools and tested them on the International Space Station. Robotic refueling gives NASA and the commercial satellite service industry the confidence that they can use robots to refuel, repair, and maintain satellites in both near and distant orbits, far beyond the reach of where humans can go today. The agency also plans to build a free-flying service spacecraft on this space that could access, repair, and refuel satellites in geostationary Earth orbit. The Hermit's robot is a concept of a robot capable of switching between different narrow tasks by simply changing its body. In this way, a robot with a narrow specialty becomes versatile. Hermit's is based on a small Sony Toyo robots. They are 2-wheeled robotic cubes that can localize based on infrared images and interact with each other and with other objects through a centralized controller. MIT has only made minor changes to Toyo robots, and adding a small servo motor that can push a mount out of the top of the robot so it can dock with any custom shell. Shells without any electronics inside can easily be printed on a 3D printer. In our opinion, this idea is close to genius and will definitely get its development. ABB released a video that includes a brief history of robotics in their company. It's interesting and informative, so we'll put a link to this in the video description. Looking at this swordsman robot, it's hard to believe that artificial intelligence is already around us and that it's developing at an incredible pace. And that is what our next episode will be about. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the most interesting things from the world of high tech. Artificial intelligence can be described as a computer system that has one or more capabilities of the human mind. Such capabilities include language comprehension, visual perception, learning ability, decision-making, ability, and so on. Artificial intelligence is expected to fundamentally change the world in the next 20 years. The only question is, how will it do so? Will we become omnipotent at the expense of machines, or will they destroy us or make us their slaves? Let's try to find out. Artificial intelligence is no longer fiction, but part of the advanced technology that surrounds us everywhere. Unmanned cars that will sooner or later replace traditional transportation, smart robots in manufacturing, and scientific laboratories, systems that diagnose diseases by X-rays better than live doctors, chatbots, virtual assistants, and tutors, facial recognition systems, algorithms in search engines, and social networks are all examples of the use of narrow artificial intelligence. In recent years, advances in statistical computing have allowed AI to make a real leap forward with machine learning. Similarly, advances in neural networks have led to the development of an additional area of AI called deep learning. Broadly speaking, these approaches are divided into guided and random learning. The former uses data with given results, while the latter uses data without one. If you want to learn more about machine learning and deep learning, collect 1,000 likes under this video and we'll do a separate episode on this very topic. But all of this is just narrow artificial intelligence, programming machines to autonomously meet specific needs with advanced computing, decision-making, neural networks, and deep learning. This is the current state of AI research. They help us achieve productivity, reduce costs, and improve quality. The development of narrow AI, like robotics, is sparking discussions about the risk of unemployment. According to various estimates, in the next 10 years, robots will take 30 to 40% of the jobs currently held by humans. Researchers at the World Economic Forum say that by taking some 75 million jobs, new technologies, including artificial intelligence, will create more than 130 million new ones. After all, when the first machines appeared in factories, people were also worried about losing their jobs. But not only has progress not taken away jobs, it has also offloaded us. Artificial intelligence will surely take over many of the routine tasks performed by humans. At the same time, new technologies, various New World problems, space discovery and colonization, global military, green energy, and so on will create many new jobs. Narrow AI depends on human programming. Even if we automate the software part of it, it will still be an area designed by humans for specific purposes. We can program Terminators to kill people or robot builders to build a base on the moon. Either way, we will get exactly what we wanted, because such artificial intelligence has no consciousness. But as expected, the next stage in development of artificial intelligence technology will be general or conscious AI. Since no one knows today how it will be created, it will come in the next 20 to 50 years, but there is little doubt it will appear. What will an artificial intelligence endowed with consciousness be like? No one really knows this. Is there enough logic to call a machine conscious? And what about emotions, feelings, or creativity? Can consciousness exist without them? At this point, we just don't know. Then, why is it we are afraid of conscious AI? Well, we fear the unknown. We call ourselves conscious, but we look at a world where there are endless political battles for power, conflict, wars over resources, etc. We fear that artificial intelligence will be just like us. Moreover, a conscious AI might turn out to be quite different from us and decide that humans are a disease, a virus that has infected the Earth. Such an intelligence would be uncontrollable, and it would look at us without emotion from its own point of view. But this is not the worst of it. The third and final species is artificial superintelligence, that is, AI with superhuman powers and abilities. This is the evolution of the conscious artificial intelligence, which has learned everything available to cognition in this world. A superintelligent AI, enhanced by consciousness, will assimilate everything that science or philosophy has to offer. It will reach the technological limits of knowledge, which is referred to as singularity. They may surpass the need for a physical body and travel beyond the known limits of physical space. It may sound bizarre now, but scientists believe that this is possible in the coming decades, with only a short time likely to pass from the second to third stage. What would such a superintelligence do to a person? There are several options here to explore. The first is the total destruction of human species as we know it by artificial intelligence. The possibility of such a turn was predicted by Stephen Hawking and also announced by Bill Gates and Elon Musk. How exactly will it destroy us? No one really knows. After all, superintelligent AI will be 100 times smarter than we are currently seeing now. But it won't be coming from robots with glowing eyes. We do know that. The system that controls the internet, medicine, nanotechnology, and many other things simply doesn't need them. And by creating some kind of red button to turn off such intelligence won't work either. First, we have to remember that it's smarter than we are. And second, as Elon Musk noted, no one would want to possess such a button, knowing that it would become target number one. The only way to defeat such AI would be to use another one that's just as smart, but friendly on our side. But not all researchers agree with this point of view. Many believe that our lives will be exceptionally better and that no dangers will threaten us. For example, Jan-Lee Kuhn, the chief scientist in the field of artificial intelligence at Facebook, once told the BBC that there will be no such scenarios in the spirit of the movies, Out of the Machine or Terminator, because robots will not be designed with human desires. They will not feel hunger, thirst for power, the instinct of reproduction or self-preservation. But can we be so sure of this? Last year, Microsoft shut down its artificial intelligence-based chatbot Tai after Twitter users who were supposed to make her smarter with casual conversation instead taught her to respond with racist, misogynistic, and anti-Semitic slurs. The example is hilarious, but the situation is scary. By the way, if you want to learn more about that incident with AI, click the issue in the tip. The third option is a merger. A proponent of this development is Elon Musk, as he sees it as the only chance for humanity. Well, almost the only chance. Elon has Plan A, to create a chip capable of expanding our mental abilities to the level of advanced artificial intelligence. And Plan B, a colony on Mars, if Plan A fails. To quote Musk, "We probably won't be able to surpass computer intelligence in the future, but we may be able to achieve a happy symbiosis. And by the way, we will also be able to cure a lot of diseases caused by brain damage, congenital, accidental, acquired with age, or any other cases. So if someone has a stroke, epilepsy, seizures, clinical depression, or anything of the like, it can be cured with a brain device." The symbiosis itself, according to Musk, can be achieved with neural lace, which is a mesh material that is injected and can literally be connected to our brains to communicate directly with computers. This device is already being developed by its company Neuralink. In the coming years, the chip will only help people suffering from paraplegia and lower limb paralysis, giving them, among other things, the ability to control their computer or phone with their thoughts. Renowned futurologist Ray Kurzweil believes that just as the mammalian brain developed homogeneous cortex 200 million years ago, which later enabled humans to invent language, science, art, and technology, by 2030, we will be cyborgs with nanobots the size of blood cells. They will connect us with synthetic neocortexes in the cloud, giving us the ability to virtual reality and augmented reality in our own nervous systems. We will become more interesting, more musical, expand our wisdom, he says. The nanobots in our veins and arteries will treat our diseases, healing our bodies from within. One way or another, all the engineers and scientists of today are convinced that the coming decades will be the era of artificial intelligence. It's believed that we will receive the greatest investment and penetrate all areas of our lives, changing them perhaps beyond recognition. This could be the greatest challenge for humanity. In the words of Elon Musk, the greatest filter of civilization. We're either going to get by with technology, or we will destroy ourselves. What do you think awaits the human civilization with AI? Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and be aware of all new high-tech news. After all, as the saying goes, forewarned is forearmed. A new Boston Dynamics robot, Elon Musk's first prototype Starship, self-healing robots, a vertipoint in Italy, and other high-tech news in this one issue. Boston Dynamics unveiled a new robot, Stretch, designed to automate warehouse operations. The mobile platform, capable of moving in any direction and overcoming obstacles and ramps, features a mast and the arm itself. The mast with sensors provides enhanced sensing, fast and accurate detection of objects. The robotic arm has 7 degrees of freedom and is able to unload boxes or pallets directly from the truck due to its large reach. The robot's smart grip recognizes and works with all types of packages without delay, thanks to the built-in monitoring and active controls. The mobile base of Stretch is very compact and allows the robot to drive itself into the unloading truck. The robot can run on high-capacity batteries or on mains power. The company positions Stretch as a fast and smart robot that is easy to deploy in any warehouse. Japanese company Man-Machine Synergy Effectors showed a huge humanoid teleoperated robot. The operator in the VR booth controls the robot's arms, not only by directly copying the movements of a real human, but through a system of levers. A VR helmet transmits stereoscopic images to the operator from 2 cameras on the robot's head. It also reads head movements and transfers them to the robot in real time. But the best part is that there are pedals on the booth, but not working yet. However, apparently in the future, the company will add functioning legs to the robot. The U.S. Advanced Research Agency DARPA continues to develop its program to control combat aircraft with artificial intelligence. Physical flight tests are expected to begin this year. The U.S. is closely investigating 2 accidents involving Tesla. In the first accident, a Tesla Model Y crashed at high speeds under a semi-trailer in Detroit. Thankfully, no one was killed in the accident. It should be noted that the car was operated by a human. The second accident happened when the car was being driven in autopilot. At least, that's what the driver is claiming. The Tesla crashed into a traffic police car standing at the edge of the road, and no one was hurt again. Tesla is unlikely to be held liable, since the rules require the driver to be in control of the car's autopilot. However, the scrutiny of accidents by authorities may suggest that new US President Joe Biden's team may reconsider regulatory practices regarding intelligent driver assistance. The Chinese company Ehang intends to create a vertiport in Italy whose design is inspired by a baobab. Passengers will ascend to the upper platform of the 30-meter tower made of steel and laminated wood by means of an elevator. Immediately below the terrace, there will be a waiting room and panoramic square restaurant. There are plans to install a number of photovoltaic panels in the tower to generate more than 300 kilowatts of energy per day. Some of it will go to charge the company's electric flying cabs. The British will try to cause rain in the Arab Emirates by using drones with ionizing units on board. Low-power electric charges could cause larger water vapor droplets to form. The technology will be tested in Dubai in the near future. Scientists have created self-healing robots. The 2-centimeter fish-shaped robots have rigid hydrophobic middle layer, and the robots are coated on top with a layer of highly magnetized microparticles. The team added platinum to the tail end of the robot. The metal reacts with the hydrogen peroxide-based fuel to form oxygen bubbles that propel the robot. Scientists first cut the robot with a blade and then cut it into 3 pieces. Each time, the robot self-healed through a strong magnetic interaction. Engineers at the Stanford University Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory taught their robot Risen to manipulate objects of variable shape with different surfaces. They succeeded by developing hybrid electrostatic grip pads inspired by geckos. The research is aimed at creating robots for retail applications. The candy company, Mars Incorporated, has created a robot nicknamed Smiley Face that chases customers around the store and obsessively suggests that they buy more candy. The robot is currently being tested at a store in New York City. Interestingly enough, the robot is not just trying to sell candy, but also collects data on how customers move around the store and interact with specific products. SpaceX has assembled the first stage of a Super Heavy launch vehicle for Starship, which was named Super Heavy. According to Elon Musk, the work is not yet finished, but it will be necessary to weld together a tank of liquid oxygen and methane. The first prototype of Super Heavy BN1 will have a height of about 67 meters from the top to the end of the nozzles of the Raptor engines. Starship and Super Heavy together will be 120 meters high. SpaceX hopes to be able to begin orbital launches of Starship as early as July of 2021. Agility Robotics showed how the Digit robot moves using GPS navigation along waypoints, detecting distant obstacles using LiDAR. The robot maps the terrain using stereo cameras and balances its movement in real time. Anybotics and BASF, a major chemical manufacturer, talked about the effectiveness of the animal 4-legged robot in a new video. The company's chemical complex is located on an area of 10 square kilometers and is constantly growing and developing. This mobile robot has solved the problem of precise mapping of the enterprise, regular inspections, and data collection. Skydio showed off the results of an early test of its 3D Scan Sneak Peek software. It is the first adaptive scanning software of its kind, based on Skydio autonomy. 3D Scan automates the acquisition of any terrain with full coverage and ultra-high resolution. It requires minimal pilot training. On May 1st, an experimental Dawn version of the Beta Robot Cafe will open in Tokyo. The idea of the institution is that all the robots in the establishment will be controlled from home by people with disabilities. The initiative aims to help such people not only earn an income, but also communicate with other people while continuing to be members of society. Fanuc will create the world's largest industrial robot manufacturing center in China. This is how the Japanese company will compete for market share in the country. China is currently experiencing a robotization boom. The investment in the project will amount to $240 million. Nanook's competitors in the race for the Chinese market will be Japan's Yaskawa, which is already building a similar $50 million factory, and ABB of Switzerland, which plans to invest about $140 million in its Shanghai plant. At the same time, the Chinese government is preparing a plan to promote domestic technologies. Beijing intends to increase the share of local players in the domestic market to 40%. The Center for Tactile Internet, with Human in the Loop, has published an intriguing video which demonstrates control of the Boston Dynamics robot Spot using an interactive glove. There's no current explanation in the video's description, so we're awaiting official news, but as of now, the idea sounds promising. By the way, in a previous episode, we told you how Spot the robot helped the police and scared the locals. However, it turned out that they were not the only ones who were scared. Now the country wants to introduce restrictions and bans on the use of armed robots by police officers. At the same time, the public fears that even an unarmed digidog can easily become deadly. What do you think? Are these fears justified? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We can't leave without mentioning the issue of the sensational news that a painting of the robot Sophia was sold at auction in the form of an NFT for almost $700,000. The co-author of the robot was Italian digital artist Andrea Bonaccetto, whose work for Sophia took as a bias. My algorithms derive unique patterns that haven't existed in the world before, so I think machines can create. Recently commented by Sophia about her work. The piece, titled Sophia Instatation, is a 12-second MP4 file showing the evolution of Bonaccetto's portrait into Sophia's work. Note that NFT, or non-interchangeable tokens, became popular in 2021. For example, in February of 2021, a Nyan Cat GIF sold for $590,000. What do you think? Are robots capable of creating works of art? Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss the next episode about the Neuralink brain chip and whether or not it can make us as smart as Elon Musk.